What if buying a brand new car in 2026 doesn't always give you the peace of mind you expected? Imagine driving a vehicle home with only a few miles on the odometer, only to discover a warning light, a transmission problem, an engine issue, or a software failure weeks later. Now, here's the question everyone wants answered. Are millions of Americans really returning their new cars? The answer isn't as simple as the viral headlines make it sound. There is no solid evidence that millions of Americans are routinely returning brand new vehicles every day. But there is a real story behind today's recalls: engine failures, repair disputes, software complexity, and the rising cost of owning a vehicle. And some of the problems are serious enough that every new car buyer should know about them. Let's start with one of the biggest recent examples: General Motors. If you've been following the truck and SUV market, you've probably heard about GM's 6.2-liter V8. This engine has been used in popular vehicles including the Chevrolet Silverado, Chevrolet Tahoe, Chevrolet Suburban, GMC Sierra, GMC Yukon, and Cadillac Escalade in 2025. GM recalled hundreds of thousands of vehicles equipped with the 6.2-liter L87 V8 because certain internal engine components could fail. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's recall documentation, the affected vehicles were from the 2021 through 2024 model years and were built during a specific production period. The problem wasn't simply routine maintenance. The recall involved possible defects involving engine components such as connecting rods and crankshaft-related parts. A failure could result in engine damage or loss of motive power. That's a serious problem when you're talking about a heavy pickup or large SUV traveling at highway speed. But here's where we need to separate facts from internet drama. Not every GM 6.2-liter engine is going to fail. And the recall did not cover every GM truck from 2021 through 2026. The real story is actually more useful than the exaggerated version. A major manufacturer had to recall a large number of vehicles because a specific engine problem created a potential safety risk. That's already enough to get a buyer's attention. Toyota has also faced serious recall issues involving the Tundra. Certain 2022 and 2023 Tundra vehicles equipped with the 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6 were recalled because machining debris could remain inside the engine after manufacturing. That debris could damage internal engine components and potentially lead to engine knocking, rough running, a no-start condition, or loss of motive power. And this story didn't simply disappear. Toyota has continued dealing with additional vehicles and engine-related recall actions involving the same V35A engine family. In May 2026, Toyota announced another recall involving certain 2024 Tundra vehicles because machining debris might not have been properly cleared from the engine during production. Think about that for a moment. The vehicle may be brand new. The engine may have only a small number of miles, and yet a manufacturing issue can potentially create a major mechanical problem. That doesn't mean Toyota is suddenly an unreliable brand. In fact, Toyota's willingness to issue recalls and repair affected vehicles is part of how the safety system is supposed to work. A recall isn't proof that every vehicle is defective. It's a mechanism for identifying a problem and correcting it. Now let's move to another area that doesn't get enough attention: modern diesel trucks. Today's diesel pickups are far more sophisticated than older diesel vehicles. They use complex emissions control systems designed to reduce harmful pollutants. One important component is diesel exhaust fluid, or DF. DF itself isn't the problem. The purpose of the system is legitimate: reduce emissions from diesel engines. But when emissions control components malfunction, the vehicle can sometimes limit its performance to protect the system and encourage repairs. For someone using a diesel truck for work, towing, or long-distance travel, that can become extremely frustrating. A warning light is one thing. A vehicle that suddenly limits speed or power is something entirely different. This is one of the trade-offs of modern automotive technology. Manufacturers have been required to meet increasingly strict emissions and safety standards, and achieving those goals has added layers of electronics. And then there are transmissions. Modern automatic transmissions can have 8, 9, 10, or even more gears. That can improve efficiency, performance, and fuel economy. But greater complexity can also make diagnosis and repair more complicated. GM and other automakers have issued recalls for various transmission-related problems over the years. Some have involved software, others have involved hydraulic components or mechanical parts. And this brings us to an important lesson. When you see a viral video claiming that an entire brand is junk, don't stop there. Look for the actual recall. Look at the affected model years. Find out how many vehicles were involved. And most importantly, determine exactly what the manufacturer says can happen. Because a recall affecting 100,000 vehicles doesn't mean all 100,000 vehicles have already failed. It means those vehicles are considered potentially affected and require the appropriate remedy. Now we're moving into a much bigger issue. Your car isn't just a machine anymore. It's a computer on wheels. Modern vehicles contain dozens of electronic control modules, cameras, radar sensors, infotainment systems, digital displays, connected services, and software. That creates incredible capabilities. But it also raises a difficult question. Who should control the information needed to repair the vehicle? This is the heart of the right to repair debate. Independent mechanics and consumer advocates argue that vehicle owners should have meaningful access to repair information, diagnostic tools, and data for vehicles they legally own. If a simple mechanical problem becomes dependent on proprietary software, specialized diagnostic equipment, or manufacturer-specific systems, independent repair can become more difficult. And when independent repair becomes harder, consumers may have fewer choices. That matters because repair costs can vary significantly between dealerships and independent shops. But mechanical reliability isn't the only reason buying a new car deserves careful consideration. There's another problem hiding in plain sight: depreciation. The moment you buy a new vehicle, its value begins changing. Edmunds estimates that, on average, new vehicles lose about 23.5% of MSRP after the first year. Although actual depreciation varies enormously by vehicle, that doesn't mean every car loses 23.5%. Some models hold their value extremely well. Others depreciate much faster, but the principle remains the same. If you finance a vehicle, you're making monthly payments while the vehicle is also losing value. That can create negative equity. And if you trade that vehicle too early, the financial consequences can follow you into your next loan. That's why buying a car should never be based only on the monthly payment. You need to consider the purchase price, interest, insurance, fuel, maintenance, depreciation, and expected resale value. So does that mean everyone should buy an old used car? Absolutely not. Used cars have risks too. A poorly maintained used vehicle can become far more expensive than a newer one, and modern vehicles offer important advantages in safety, efficiency, comfort, and technology. But a lightly used vehicle with a strong reliability history can sometimes offer a better balance between price and value. And today's used market isn't necessarily cheap either. Edmunds reported that the average transaction price for 3-year-old used vehicles reached about $31,548 in the first quarter of 2026, near record levels. So the answer isn't simply new bad, used good. The smarter question is, which vehicle gives you the best combination of reliability, safety, ownership cost, and value for your particular situation? Now let's talk about luxury vehicles. A higher price doesn't automatically guarantee higher reliability. Luxury vehicles often include more advanced technology, more electronic systems, sophisticated suspension components, premium interiors, advanced driver assistance features, and powerful engines. All of that can be fantastic when everything works. But when something fails, the repair can be expensive. That's why a $100,000 vehicle isn't necessarily a better financial decision than a $50,000 vehicle. You're paying for a different ownership experience. The important thing is knowing what you're buying. Now we reach the most controversial claim from videos like this one. Are automakers deliberately designing vehicles to fail? There is a huge difference between saying, modern vehicles are more complicated and some components fail, and saying, manufacturers intentionally design those components to fail at a specific mileage. The first statement can be supported by the complexity of modern vehicles. The second requires evidence. A failed plastic component doesn't automatically prove a conspiracy. A turbocharger failure doesn't prove an engineer intentionally designed it to fail after the warranty expires. And a recall doesn't prove a manufacturer wanted customers to return to the dealership. There are many reasons manufacturers use particular materials and designs, including weight, cost, manufacturing requirements, packaging, corrosion resistance, efficiency, and engineering trade-offs. So instead of believing a conspiracy without evidence, consumers should ask a better question. How does this vehicle perform over time? That question can actually be answered. Look at long-term reliability data. Check recall history. Research common repairs. Look at warranty coverage. Talk to independent mechanics. And examine the cost of replacement parts. There isn't one perfect brand for every American driver. Toyota, Honda, Mazda, Ford, GM, Hyundai, Kia, Subaru, Lexus, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and every other manufacturer has vehicles with different strengths and weaknesses. One model may have an excellent reliability record, while another vehicle from the same company may have a completely different history. So don't buy a logo. Buy the specific vehicle. Research the specific engine. Research the transmission. Check the exact model year. Check open recalls using official sources, and find out what common repairs owners are reporting. So, are millions of Americans returning brand new cars in 2026? We should be careful with that claim. The available evidence does not justify presenting it as a universal nationwide epidemic, but that doesn't mean there is no story. There are real recalls. There are real engine failures. There are real transmission problems. There are real software and repairability debates. And there is a real financial cost to buying, financing, maintaining, and eventually replacing a vehicle. The biggest lesson isn't never buy a new car. It's this: don't confuse new with perfect. Don't confuse expensive with reliable. And don't confuse complicated with better. Before you sign the papers, research the vehicle you are actually buying. Because the most important feature of your next car might not be the giant screen, the horsepower figure, or the luxury badge. It might be something much simpler. How confident are you that this vehicle will still be a good decision 5 years from now? So now I want to hear from you. Would you rather buy a brand new vehicle packed with the latest technology, or choose a proven model with a simpler, more established powertrain? And if you've ever owned a vehicle that gave you serious problems while it was still relatively new, tell us what happened. Your experience could help another buyer make a better decision. Thanks for watching. Drive safe, do your research, and remember, the best car isn't always the newest one. It's the one that works for you, without becoming a financial or mechanical nightmare.